The thing with being an arborist is a lot of arborists love, trees and nature and want to take care of the trees, but when you're a municipal arborist, there's a bigger factor, which are people. Part of the main thing with my job that I want to do is to engage people with the trees, so they appreciate what they have and they appreciate the benefits of the trees. So what I want them to see that I see is the tree not just as an aesthetic item in your parkway, but that it serves a function by helping reduce the stormwater runoff, by cooling the area. Well-kept trees like lower the crime rate. Trees being along the roadside, the spacing of them helps slow traffic down. Like, people will tend to drive slower because they can notice that they're moving faster if there's the trees along the side of the road. And it just is more of a calming effect. People have to know to appreciate things. They have to know about them. So I would say the main thing is to keep the people in mind, to keep that's who you're really serving. I mean, it's really good to conserve nature, but if the other people don't appreciate it, there's no legacy. Nobody's going to take care of it after you're gone. So you need to train other people to take care of it, and you need to train the general public to appreciate what is growing around them and all the natural areas you have. The village has an incredible amount of naturalized basins that we monitor and maintain, and we have, a good group of trustees that were willing to put, the time and effort into developing these basins, and there's a whole bunch of people working on it. And when you're a resident, you're paying the taxes for all this stuff, and so you should actually see the benefit of what's going on around you. It's really quite wonderful. There was an area of land that we had across from the Montgomery Police Department where there was when the farm went down, they saved the stave silo, and it's preserved there. And there's a bike trail that goes through there, but there was nothing else out there. So it was a really sunny, hot area, just of lawn that had to be mowed every week. And I always felt like there could be a better use for that. And through our Arbor Day plantings, we used to plant our Arbor Day trees around the village hall, but we ran out of space. So we looked at this site and we decided this is where we're going to plant our Arbor Day trees, at least for the next 20 years. So Amy Olson, she drew the plan, and we incorporated a garden in there. So the garden is a mixture of native plants and nativars, but it's not planted just naturalized. It's got structure to it, and it's organized. And the idea is to create an education center for people to come and see by having it as a garden and a little more showy than some of the native areas, but then have signage there explaining why we have naturalized basins, how the native plants, filter the water before it goes back into the river system through the ponds, and how you get more wildlife in there and better soil, developed under the plants. And we want to have, the school districts. We would like the kids to come out and, experience the nature, either if it's just, not just necessarily learning botany, but to come out and maybe spend time out in the park and then do some writing about it, write a story about it, write a poem about it, draw a picture of it, paint a picture of it. Get something so that you're experiencing nature while you're learning, and not just always being in a classroom or always looking at a computer screen or your phone, but to actually take the time to look close at things, just to be in nature. That's what the idea of it is. And I think then people will start, if they see that area and start to learn that, then when they look at the naturalized basins, they'll start to see it as a garden instead of just weeds. I guess I wouldn't call it my job, but I would call it my duty, And beautification committee is one of the big factors that we've worked with. And in the beautification committee, the goal initially was, just to try to get more flowers around the downtown. We put flowers on the bridge every year, and it's just really beautiful. And we have a lot of hanging baskets around town, and that is like all the result of early work that the beautification committee did. The Conservation Foundation and the Merst Farm, being in Montgomery, has really been a great asset to the community. They have several events at the farm each year. I always thought, like, growing up, everybody knew all the stuff I knew from being by the farm, and people don't know, so they can come to the farm and see some of the older ways, some of the antique tractors and equipment, how it works. They have petting zoos so the kids can actually, come and see the animals and, get a feel for where their food comes from. And it's just a good way to get people back into the nature, I guess. The beauty for me of being inducted into the Hall of Fame is because you're doing your job, you're doing what you love to do, and just to suddenly get the knowledge that people have noticed what you're doing and appreciate what you're doing, because like I said, your goal in life is to make everybody else's life better, and in doing that, your life becomes great too.